Welcome to our podcast, Mysteries and Mimosas. I'm Max Sterling, and as usual, I'm here with my homegirl, Aria.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for the warm welcome, and as usual, you're such a peach. Remember when Michael and Jeremy stole our podcast?
I remember.
So, if you also remember, before that episode aired, I was bragging about a little disagreement that I had with Jeremy. And I said, hey, I can't wait for you to listen to this on their podcast. But they didn't air it.
Well, they didn't want to air your disagreement.
No, Michael does. Michael supports me. Michael loves me. Jeremy, not so much. So actually what happened is they have special stuff like our interview and things like this and as part of their Patreon. And so in return for stealing our podcast, I stole this clip from Michael and Jeremy, and I intend to play it at the end of this episode.
Oh, okay. Can't wait.
It's pretty good. So, yes, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
So anyway, I'm ready to kick this episode off right. And first things first, this episode is from the year 2002. And so here it comes. Are you ready to travel in time with me to the year 2002 and answer some trivia questions?
I guess I'm as ready as I will ever be.
Okay. Michael Jackson was criticized after he dangled this over the balcony of his hotel room in Berlin.
His child.
What's that child's name? You only get full credit if you know the child's name.
Was it Blanket?
Actually, I don't know. So I'm just going to say yeah.
I think it may have been.
Was it Blanket? I don't know. Can you look it up?
Or Prince?
I think it was
don't
Prince.
have my phone with me.
It was Prince something.
Well, I mean, he has a son also named Blanket, doesn't he? Or am I making that up?
You know what? I don't know. I'm not going to fact check you on this.
No, please do.
Okay, hold on.
No, I have to know.
Let's ask Google. Does Michael Jackson have a child named Blanket? Let's see what Google says. It's still voice chatting with me.
Why do I think that? I'm certain that's true.
Yeah, Blanket. Michael Jackson's kid is named Blanket.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think that's the kid though. I actually think that it's the Prince kid.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not really 100% sure on it, but he does have a child named Prince, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know if it's just Prince, like the music artist?
Oh,
you know?
I don't know his full name.
His name is Prince Michael II.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay.
Now you know.
I do know.
And that's the one that was dangling?
Yes.
It wasn't Blanket. Okay.
No.
Well, but can I please get full credit? You didn't even know he had a son named Blanket.
I think I've heard you say that before, but you're right. I didn't know it. But it's not about me. It is entirely about you.
I'm not going to beg you for the points, Max.
I'm not going to give you points based on my lack of knowledge. Okay? So that's not how this works.
If you gave me points for your lack of knowledge, I would win trivia every day.
But you don't. So
right. But I mean, if you gave me points for your lack of knowledge.
Okay, you ready? In 2002, Eminem released this album, which was the biggest selling album of the year, selling 7.9 million copies.
The Eminem Show.
You're right. Full points for that one.
I burned a copy of that, and my mom, I think she'd probably still deny it to this day. She destroyed it. She hated that, and she thought it was so vulgar. And I left it in her car after I drove it one day, because by that time I had my license. I was driving and everything, but yeah, and then it was just missing. So I'm like, it's really convenient that you hate that CD and I left it in your car and it's now missing. She denied it. And I think if we asked her, she would deny it to this day.
Well, I think it's less her hating Eminem and the music. I think it's more she just didn't want her daughter listening to it. Because I do the same thing. I don't let our daughter listen to Eminem.
Know. No, I get it. She still does, but it's vulgar. I get that it's vulgar, but anyway.
Yeah, I'm just not a super fan of Eminem.
I like
me. There's a couple good catchy tunes. But anyway.
All right.
Okay. In 2002, what animated Disney classic was released?
In 2002. Can I have a hint? 2002.
I don't know. The whole point is for you to think back to where you were in 2002 and
No,
what
I know.
Disney classic movies
I
were
just
released
thought I
that
just
year.
told you where I was. I was driving my mom's car listening to my Eminem CD that she destroyed.
Okay. So you weren't watching Disney's Lilo and Stitch?
Oh, you know what? I've seen that whole movie, but it wasn't until like a few years ago when I watched it with our daughter. I
Okay.
never did watch
Well,
that
that's
before.
what it was. That was the answer.
Okay.
And you have now 2 wrong. Okay.
No, I don't.
I'm just kidding. You have 1 wrong.
Okay.
But I'm going to see if you get this one. See if you win trivia for once in a week. Last question. Where were the 2002 Winter Olympics held?
Oh, geez. You've asked me this one before. But it's for a different year. Was it Salt Lake City that time? I think I guessed that before.
Okay, what was it this time?
It wasn't Salt Lake City, is what you're telling me?
I'm asking you to guess this time. I'm not asking you about the past.
You're asking me literally about the past.
No, I'm just, well, yeah, I mean,
2002.
okay. I'm not asking you about our past trivia issues. I'm asking you, where were the 2002 Winter Olympics held?
I told you. I think it was Salt Lake City.
Fine, you win.
It
you
was?
win trivia.
Yay, I
Are you
did.
proud of yourself?
I'm pretty proud of myself.
Have yourself
actually.
an airhead out of that box.
Oh,
Pick any
wow.
flavor except for the orange ones.
No, I love the orange ones.
Okay, so what's the mimosa recipe?
So, in honor of it finally being springtime, this one is called the hummingbird mimosa. And it has orange juice and pineapple juice and Prosecco. And you rim the glass with cinnamon and sugar and an orange wedge to garnish. So
Why is
it's what? No,
Why is it called the hummingbird?
I don't know. That's just what it's called.
That's what you're calling it?
No, that's not what I'm calling it. That's what the
recipe is
says.
called?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
That's why I picked it.
I like hummingbirds.
Me too, and that's why I picked it. Probably because of the sugar. I don't
Oh,
know.
that
I
makes
like
sense.
sugar.
Yeah.
So it's 2 tablespoons of sugar, a half teaspoon of cinnamon. You'll need orange wedges, and then 2 ounces of chilled pineapple juice, and 1 ounce of chilled orange juice, and then 3 to 4 ounces of a chilled Prosecco.
Do you think if you leave this mimosa recipe outside that hummingbirds will come?
They definitely would.
I think so.
I think they would.
Don't want to get drunk with a hummingbird off of mimosas. Is that too much to ask?
I don't think
That's
they
gonna
would
be a
need very
bucket
much.
list.
They're tiny.
I don't think they would. No, they wouldn't need much. Just a
Just
little
need a little sip.
little thimble.
Yep.
Okay, well that's probably a lot, huh?
For them, yes.
Okay. Enough of that. Are you ready
All
to
right.
move on?
I'm ready.
Today's episode is from Valdosta, Georgia. 15 miles north of the Florida-Georgia state line, Valdosta is the home to the Valdosta State University. It is also home to the world's second Coca-Cola bottling plant, which began bottling Coca-Cola in 1897.
Wow,
That's
that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Ha!
Take another airhead out of the box. Go ahead.
That
Any
was-
flavor but the orange one.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm never that witty.
No. Oh,
Ever.
I get it because of the Coca-Cola bottling plant.
Oh
Yeah,
my
sorry, I'm never that slow.
Gosh, I know. I thought that's why I was able to get an airhead.
Yeah, no,
my
go ahead. You can,
gosh.
you know what? You can take an orange one. Okay,
Oh my
Enough.
gosh. Okay.
we're moving on. Valdosta was incorporated in 1860, just 1 year prior to the Civil War, when the Civil War began. Isn't that crazy? Kind
Yeah.
of old.
It's really old.
In November of 1902, the Harris Nickel Plate Circus prize elephant Gypsy went on a rampage, killing her trainer, James O'Rourke.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Gypsy, what are you doing?
Calm down, Gypsy.
After terrorizing the town for a few hours. Now, hold on a minute. A few hours of an elephant on a rampage?
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, I don't want
What
to be a part of
is
that.
happening today with us saying
Jinx.
the same words?
Give me my orange airhead back. So after a few hours of terrorizing this town, Gypsy ran off, escaping the town to the north towards Cherry Creek. Gypsy was chased by the chief of police from Valdosta, out of his jurisdiction, might I add, Calvin Dampier. And in tow, Calvin had his posse.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. I'm just trying to picture this. So we are in 1902, and it's the chief of police and his posse chasing an elephant out of town.
Out of his jurisdiction.
Wow.
Yeah. Gypsy
That's funny.
Gypsy was shot and murdered in cold elephant blood and buried on site.
I'm actually really sad for Gypsy because I know she went on the rampage, but she only went on the rampage because they were using her in their circus.
Although I agree with you, I want to just break this down for a minute. Gypsy had already killed one person.
Yeah.
She went on a rampage. Calvin and his posse, although they are out of their jurisdiction,
As you've said,
they are now in fresh pursuit of an elephant that has already killed one person. So I think that they're legally justified to take Gypsy's life because Gypsy's now a fleeing felon. And so I don't necessarily think this is an excessive use of force. I'm just really upset at his lack of judgment. He could have called another agency to assist, but instead, he took it upon himself to chase this elephant out of the jurisdiction.
along with his posse.
I think he was way out of line. Justified shoot, nonetheless. I'm not necessarily sold, though, that Calvin's a hero. I'm conflicted.
Me too.
Just saying.
Fine. I get it. There's probably no way around it. She was on a rampage, but she just wanted to be free.
Just let her go.
To live in the wild. She doesn't want to do the circus anymore. So yeah. So Gypsy, I'm sorry that you were captured and made to perform in a circus.
Yeah,
that's what I want to say.
That's the real crime here.
Mm.
I'm not a huge, supporter of PETA or anything. I'll just say it. I mean, they have their purpose or whatever. I don't really necessarily agree with the wild, extreme thoughts behind it, but I don't agree with some of the abuse that happens with those elephants. And so back in 1907, that was probably pretty severe. So I really don't blame Gypsy.
No, I'm sure it was pretty bad back then, but yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Moving on. On July 28th of 1907, about 5 years later, Valdosta voted to become a dry city. $10,000 worth of whiskey was sold on the last day before the city became dry.
Wow, $10,000 in 1907 is a lot of money. I wonder how many people lived in the town at that time to have purchased $10,000 worth of whiskey. Their cabinets must have been full for years.
I don't know. At this rate, I feel like we've spent $10,000 worth of money on mimosas and garnishes and mixers for this podcast. It's okay, though.
Oh, man.
It's a tough job. Somebody has to do it. I will continue to fight this battle with you. All right.
I don't know. $10,000 worth of whiskey.
It is. It's a ton.
That's crazy.
If you have any desire to visit Valdosta, Georgia, you will find the Wild Adventures Amusement Park. This amusement park contains a water park and wild animals. Hopefully, no elephants.
Oh, they don't have a good history there. I hope there's no elephants there.
Yeah. So you can visit and see wild animals in a water park.
Oh, and roller coasters.
Roller coasters.
I saw roller coasters on there. Yeah.
So that's enough about Valdosta. That's a pretty good history lesson, I think. And that kind of brings us to our real story, which happened in Valdosta. We know what it is. We know the year, 2002. On October 14th of 2002, 25-year-old Paula Ann Wade lived in Valdosta, Georgia with her 3-year-old son, Brandon Lee Wade. Paula was married to her husband, Lance Wade, whom she met in high school. After Paula and Lance married, Lance joined the Air Force, and at the time of this incident, Lance was stationed at Shaw Air Force Base in Sumter, South Carolina, which is about a 5-hour drive northeast of Valdosta. Paula and Brandon were living at the common apartments in Valdosta, and Paula was working at a local Sam's Club. She was working in the membership area. Paula had a male roommate living with her at that time to help Paula pay for the bills.
I wonder why she wasn't living with Lance at the time.
Well, apparently Paula and Lance moved to Valdosta together, but when Lance became stationed in South Carolina, he left ahead of Paula and Brandon to search for a place to live. And while Lance was in South Carolina looking for a place to live, Paula was struggling back in Valdosta to pay the bills, and the two of them just kind of grew apart. Okay. They separated. He became estranged from Paula, and so he was living on the Air Force Base in Sumter, South Carolina, and Paula was still in Valdosta.
Okay.
So the week Paula went missing, Paula had planned to transfer from Valdosta's Sam Club Sam's Club to a Sam's Club in Kissimmee, Florida, in an effort to move closer to her family.
So her and Lance are now separated, and
And she
Paula and Brandon are living with a roommate in Valdosta, getting ready to move to Florida. So I wonder how Lance felt about that move, since it's going to be farther away from him. You know, Brandon's then going to be moving farther away from Lance.
Well, yeah. I mean, Kissimmee, Florida is about 6.5 hours, so it adds another hour and a half to the commute if they have any type of child custody exchange or anything.
Yeah.
It definitely, you know, obviously she has to continue on with her life and do what's
Of
best for
course.
her. Meanwhile, he probably is just tied to South Carolina. You know, we don't know what that looks like, whether or not this was a nasty separation, whether it was, amicable, and what their child custody exchange or child custody agreement even looked like, or even if they had one at that point.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on here with Paula and Lance and Brandon and this roommate of hers. So on October 14th of 2002, Paula failed to show up to work at Sam's Club, and she didn't even call in. According to Paula's friends and family, Paula would never miss work, especially without calling in. So she was always on time. She's very punctual, very reliable. And so because of this weird behavior of her just being a no-call, no-show, this prompted an immediate response from law enforcement. So because Paula missed work without notice, another coworker who worked with her there at Sam's Club drove to the common apartments to look for Paula. So that's actually a really good friend, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that any of my coworkers would ever come looking for me if I was in no call, no show. They probably wouldn't even notice that I was gone. Maybe one or two people.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. This is the truth. I run late everywhere I go.
Mm-hmm.
There's something to be said about it. My sergeant actually tells me, he calls me OFP. And it means he says you're on your own fucking program.
Oh.
That's literally what he says.
That's a perfect description for you, though.
It is.
In a lot of facets of your life.
I feel like, I don't know. You know what? It's not that I take advantage of anything. I can't be on time for anything. I will be 15 minutes late, but I will stay anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour later in order to make up for it.
That is true. You are always late leaving from work, too.
So I'm late everywhere. I'm going to be late to my own funeral.
I agree. And you've passed that on to your daughter. She's the same exact way.
Yeah. So, for somebody like me, if you're that person out there listening, you can relate. You just show up when you show up. You're more or less on time. But that's not the type of person that Paula was. Paula was the type of person that was there every time, on time, without fail. So yes, her coworker became worried, and so she responded to the common apartments to look for Paula. And once the coworker arrived, Paula's 1998 Chevy Blazer was found at the parking lot of the common apartments. So it appears as though I guess Paula would be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently a bunch of Paula's personal belongings were found in her apartment, to include her car keys, her ID card, and her purse. These are items that you just don't leave without, right?
Right.
I would imagine that women typically keep their purse and their car keys with them.
Sure.
I mean, it makes sense that the car keys would be there because the Blazer's there, but not only was she, without her purse and her ID card, her glasses were also found, which is particularly suspicious because Paula's vision was so bad, she needed her glasses to function.
Yeah, so she's definitely not going far if she was almost blind or had extreme vision issues without her glasses, right? I mean, she's not even going to go out for a walk, I wouldn't think. No. I know for myself, I have pretty bad vision too. And if I don't have my glasses or contacts on, I get a headache almost right away because my eyes are straining so hard to see. So if her vision is that bad, I can't imagine that she would go far.
Yeah, I can't imagine she would go far without her purse or glasses or ID card and her keys. Obviously not her keys, but I'm sure that all these belongings prompted investigators to really take a second hard look at this from the onset. Like, hey, she's not showing up to work. It's out of character. She was just about to move to Kissimmee, Florida, and now her car is here and all her personal belongings are here, you know,
Mm-hmm.
they're probably immediately thinking foul play.
And Brandon too. Brandon's gone
And
too.
Brandon's gone too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not only is Brandon gone, this is a strange circumstance, which actually kind of adds to this whole mystery. Brandon's car seat was missing from the Blazer.
Mm.
So I don't know what to think about this.
So either they got into somebody else's car, or somebody wanted police to think they got into somebody else's car.
Yes.
One or
Either
the other.
or.
Mm-hmm.
Very keen observation. I think it's very bizarre that Brandon's car seat is missing. And I don't know how police know this. I don't know, maybe how close Paula is with this coworker, or, through interviews, if they found out like, hey, that, usually the car seat's here and now it's gone.
Yeah.
To me, I think your car seat is obviously only missing for the purpose of a specific reason when you take it out, obviously. What are those reasons? When you get home and you want to clean your car, you take out your car seat so you can clean underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Or when you're switching from one car to another, you will move it, from one place to another in order to have your child in a car seat safely to travel.
Right.
And so what happened? Was she kidnapped? Did she voluntarily get into somebody else's car with Brandon and just say, hey, heck with this, I'm leaving? I don't necessarily think so, because all of her family said that they were very excited about her new transfer to the Sam's Club in Kissimmee, so that everybody was expecting her to show up relatively soon. I mean, she was packing up, getting ready to leave, and then she just goes missing. So apparently police learned that Paula was last seen on October 12th, so 2 days prior, leaving Sam's Club, leaving work.
Okay.
In addition, Paula and her family had this like weekly scheduled phone call that they had, apparently on Sundays, because the 13th was a Sunday. On the 13th, Paula missed that call, which was the day after she was last seen leaving work. So she's last seen leaving work on the 12th, misses the call to her family on the 13th, and then on the 14th, she's a no-call, no-show to Sam's.
Okay.
So, and the car seat's missing, and her personal belongings are there.
Yeah.
Very strange circumstances.
For sure.
According to a Newsweek article, police haven't released whether or not Paula's husband and Paula's roommate have participated in polygraphs. But a conflicting article from the Charlie Project states Paula's husband passed a polygraph and his alibi was verified at the time of her disappearance. Apparently, his alibi placed Lance at the Air Force Base in South Carolina.
Okay.
Additionally, Paula's roommate allegedly refused to take a polygraph and has been uncooperative with police. So despite reports from Newsweek contradicting information stating the roommate was cooperative and participated in an interview is out there. So I don't know, sometimes when you kind of look at these, I know that news articles just quickly pick up stories and they run with them. And I just know from experience, they're pretty quick to put misinformation out there just to run a story and be the first to have it out there. I mean, I can tell you of a time that, I had a media request, public, request for help through the media, asking for the public's help to help me solve this crime. And they got it completely wrong. I mean, they had my name right, but they're like, hey, call this other agency that I didn't even work for. So, they're quick to just throw those stories out there. And so I know that there's probably a lot of conflicting information in the media. That's to be expected. What we do on the podcast is we just report what we read, and then we have a conversation about it. I think in either situation, it's a little bit weird. Obviously, the latter is weirder. If the roommate is really refusing to take a polygraph and he's uncooperative with police,
yeah,
he immediately is going to become suspicious, a person of interest, so to speak.
I wish we had more information on what that relationship was like with her and the roommate, like how they met each other. Like, were they friends in the past, or did they have a good relationship, or was it strictly like a, hey, I'm renting a room from you to help you pay the bills?
Yeah, were they intimate? Were they not? How did he feel about Paula planning to leave to Florida?
Yeah. It's interesting. I wish we had more information on that.
Yeah, I'm going to actually lean pretty heavy on the Charlie Project because they do a lot of research with articles and find information that I find to be fairly accurate.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they report is the roommate, like an acquaintance of a roommate, called in to police with a tip. And apparently, this acquaintance led police to an area where the acquaintance believed Paula and Brandon's remains were located. But after an extensive police search with cadaver dogs, police only found deer bones. So that neither Paula or Brandon have ever been located.
So again, that's another one of those things where, the police have the information, but they just haven't released it. Like what was that conversation with that roommate's acquaintance? Like, I mean, why did he think their remains were there? Like what information did he have?
Yeah, did he just get told by the roommate or, yeah, you never know what actually happens, but I find it interesting that they're following up on these tips. It's not panning out. That piece of information actually leads me to believe that the Charlie Project has it right when they talk about the roommate not cooperating and not participating in an interview and not doing a polygraph.
Yeah.
So remember, Paula was 25 years old at the time of her disappearance. She would be 47 years old today. Paula is described as a white female. She is 5 foot 7 inches tall, 150 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Paula's maiden name is Paula Ann McGrath. Paula has a birthmark on the upper part of her leg, and Paula's top canine teeth protrude out from the rest of her teeth. Paula has allergies and takes medication to control them. She also has asthma and she uses an inhaler, and at the time of her disappearance, she was without either one of those medications.
Even more reason why that's suspicious.
Yeah.
She wouldn't leave without those things.
For sure. Brandon Lee Wade was 3 years old at the time of his disappearance, and he would be 24 years old today. He was described as a white male, 2 foot 9 inches tall, 33 pounds with brown hair and hazel blue eyes. But obviously, he's much taller than 3 foot today, right? Mm-hmm. His nickname was Munchkin, and obviously, like I said, his appearance would be completely different. There are new age progression photos available, so you can see on our Instagram and Facebook, and also on our website what those age progression photos look like of both Paula and Brandon. Brandon also suffers from allergies, which also requires medication, and he also was without that medication when he disappeared. So even if Paula were to up and disappear in a hurry, say, I can understand where somebody would forget their own medication if they're in a hurry, but you're not going to forget your child's allergy medication.
Right.
If you have any information about the disappearances of Paula or Brandon, you can call the Valdosta Police Department at 229-242-2606. The very, very sad thing about Paula's disappearance, both of Paula's parents have passed away since her disappearance. Mm-hmm. So Paula's dad died in 2011. He was a Vietnam veteran, and during his tour in Vietnam, he was exposed to Agent Orange. So I don't know if he died from complications from that, but he passed in 2011. Just last year, 2023, Paula's mom lost the battle with breast cancer and passed away before ever finding any closure.
That's so unfortunate that her parents lived such a large portion of their life without any answers. They lost their daughter and their grandson and passed away without any answers at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's super sad. They, what they've gone through as victims of, at least a missing person. I'm sure that they held out hope that something would pop up and she would be found with Brandon safe and sound.
Sure.
But obviously, I think, this is my opinion, and I think it's a pretty popular opinion for those listening to this, the roommate is suspicious. The circumstances are suspicious. I believe that the police think that there are, nefarious acts that have been conducted in this, disappearance. I don't think that. I think it's bad all the way around, and I'm pretty sure that probably Paula's family believes that. Lance probably knows that. Especially if those reports from the roommate are true.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the one person that needs to hear this podcast hears it and is able to give police that tip. I mean, that's always our hope with what we're doing, right?
Yeah, no matter how insignificant. You know, I mean, that's how crimes are solved sometimes. You know, witnesses can provide a detail, just something as, you know, insignificant as a bumper sticker, for example, or, you know, a mustache, or, you know, anything, any type of information might help. And we would encourage you to please call the Valdosta Police Department to report that tip if you have it.
Yes.
Also, you can visit us on our website, mysteriesandmimosas.net. You can check us out on all of our social media platforms, Mysteries and Mimosas Podcast, Facebook, Instagram. Still looking for all of you to join my Discord server. If you think you're too old, you're not, because I'm old and I have a Discord server.
Please join Mimosa Max's Discord, because he's just lonely with one follower.
You know, I actually have put all of my criminal cases on the back burner. I sit in my office and I stare at my Discord server waiting for somebody to pop up and tell me hello. That's what I do all day. Okay, maybe not. That's not true.
No.
Anyway, also, we'd like to point out that the glasses that we use on our podcast are brought to you by Dragon Glassware. You can have 10% off your entire order if you use the promo code on their website, Mysteries and Mimosas Podcast. And as promised, before we close this thing out, let's listen to a clip from Michael and Jeremy's Steal Your Podcast. This is just a little teaser of what you'll get if you subscribe to their channel and you pay them money to listen to their Patreon episodes. Here you go.
I did have something else before the question.
No, our big question.
You want me to ask a question?
Yeah, ask a question.
Okay, we ask anyone who comes on our show, except for the last one, which we forgot.
She just talked about her prolapsed vagina the whole time.
Yeah, she talked about her vagina the whole time. It was crazy.
It was an interesting guess.
I can see where you'd be distracted.
We ask everybody this question, and each one of you has an opportunity to answer, and it does not need to be the same answer. It's each one of you with your own opinions about what's going on when we ask the question. It is for your own reasons. Who is better, Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone?
I'll let Aria go first.
Okay.
Ooh, I have to say Sylvester Stallone.
Oh man,
I don't know. I don't know that I have like a
I'm
good reason or a specific reason. But
so sorry that she started it off this badly. It is definitely Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay, that's 1-1.
100%.
That's 1-1. 1-1, Jeremy.
Max, do not disrespect your wife.
Aria, what is your reasoning behind Sylvester
Stallone's
Stallone?
the goat.
yeah. You know, I guess I don't necessarily have like a specific reason. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I like his movies better, maybe. I don't really know. I just like the guy better. I just think he's
Fair enough.
better, I guess. I don't know.
And why is the glorious Arnold Schwarzenegger your pick, Max?
2 reasons. Terminator, Kindergarten Cop.
Ah, hell yeah, Kindergarten Cop. Fuck yeah, Kindergarten Cop.
That's right.
Rambo.
Oh, you know what? I just thought of another third reason. Jingle All the
Jingle,
Way.
I was just gonna say Jingle All the Way.
That's a good one.
How many comedies? How many family comedies has Stallone done?
Demolition
Jeremy?
Man.
That was not a family comedy. It was a great movie. Demolition Man is arguably a fantastic movie, but it was not a family comedy.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
No one's seen that movie.
I have.
I've never even heard of that movie.
It's got the old lady from
From Home Alone?
The Golden Girls.
The Dove Lady from Home Alone?
No, the old lady from Golden Girls.
Oh. Who?
Well, I mean, they're all old.
They're all old, Jeremy. Which one?
She was the oldest one. She was B. Arthur's mom.
Oh, B. Arthur's mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Sophia.
Oh, yeah, Sophia.
Yeah.
Yes, Sophia.
So that's like 11-6.
And, we get to
Dang.
see...
Jeremy, I'm
Max?
disappointed that you... I'm disappointed that you literally made your argument with movies that nobody's heard of.
Well, if you want an argument... Okay, all right. So here you go. Way to open up the can of worms, detective.
What about Rocky?
So we all love...
okay.
We all love Terminator, right? Terminator's great. Fucking fantastic Terminator. I loved
Sounds like you're making a case for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I loved it when Arnold Schwarzenegger sat down and created this awesome movie and this awesome character. Oh, wait, no, he didn't. You know who did? Sylvester Stallone with Rocky and Rambo.
Sylvester Stallone.
Created
Rocky.
both of those characters, wrote them.
I
Oh,
can't
my
believe,
God.
Max, that you
created.
I can't believe.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aria, go ahead, please.
You love you love Rocky and Rambo. How can you pick Arnold
I
Schwarzenegger?
cry every time I watch him.
Well, you know, the very first movie that I saw in the theater, well, it was actually the drive-in, was Rocky.
Yeah, so
Oh, it's so good.
I still love Arnold Schwarzenegger better.
okay.
Everyone heard it straight from the mouth of Will Forte.
Yeah, isn't that great? They're funny. It was
Yeah, they
it
were
was a good
really
time.
funny.
And I still think both you and Jeremy are wrong about Stallone for my own personal reasons.
We didn't mention the movie Cliffhanger. That's a really good movie too.
Also, never seen it.
You haven't
I've not seen
that
Cliffhanger,
movie?
don't care
with
to.
Sylvester Stallone. Why would you say you don't care to? It's a good movie.
To prove a point, now I'm stubborn. I'm digging in. My
I mean,
heels.
just because I didn't agree with you on who was better, I still love Kindergarten Cop and Jingle All the Way. Our daughter and I watch Jingle All the Way every Christmas season. I love that
Yeah,
movie.
still making a case for Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No,
Good
I'm
job.
just making a case for the fact that, you know, we can agree to disagree on who's better, but it doesn't mean you can't watch Cliffhanger because Sylvester Stallone's in it. That's silly.
It's my life. Let me live
You're-
it the way that. Don't hate me for the person that I am. Okay. Now, I have a suspicion. I have a conspiracy theory, and I've thought this for a long time now. And now it's just really coming to light. And I actually feel like I'm ready to talk about this conspiracy theory. I think you chose Sylvester Stallone because he's better looking than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, maybe subconsciously that happened, not on purpose.
Is it true? Do you think he's better looking?
I'm trying to picture him. I guess I'll be honest with you. I don't think either of them are like attractive. They're not my type. But I guess
Okay.
if I
thought
had to
maybe
choose one, maybe.
my conspiracy theory is wrong then. I thought you
Yeah.
had a hidden agenda that you were thinking that.
No,
Okay.
no, it's not always about that, Max.
Thank you. I'm glad. It's not. Anyway, thank you for listening. Please tune into Michael and Jeremy Steal Your Podcast. Please tune into Mysteries and Mimosas again next week. We would appreciate
Yes,
that.
please do.
If you don't want to join my Discord server, it's fine. All it takes is a couple clicks to give us a 5-star rating and recommend us to your family and your friends and all of your enemies. And that way we have more listeners, and that would help us out tremendously. Right?
That's true. It would.
Okay. All right. That's enough of that. Thank you for listening.
Cheers.
Cheers.